Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session, Family Engagement on Flipgrid, Remote and Hybrid Modern Learning. My name is Janae Armand, Head of Educator Innovation at Flipgrid, and I'm so excited to have such a special educator on with us today to talk about family engagement. We have Leticia Citizen.
Hi, everyone. As Renee said, I am Leticia Citizen. Thank you for that amazing introduction, Renee. I am an I4 coach at Hawthorne School in Beverly Hills Unified School District in California. And I love being a Flipgrid Student Voice Ambassador. That is like number one on my list when I talk about like what ambassadorships I am part of. And I am just happy to be here to talk about family engagement on Flipgrid because I really believe in the partnership between teachers and parents and students and working together so that way our goals and our expectations align with what not only is happening in the classroom, but also at home. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you know, Leticia, our mission at Flipgrid is really to empower every learner on the planet to share their voice and to respect the diverse voices of others. But to empower every learner is also to empower the families as well, because they're also learners in this whole process of school, right?
Oh my gosh, more than ever so, right? Like right now in this virtual setting, I mean, we talk about like a partnership being ever so more important. But yes, definitely that like now learning is happening at home, and it's happening at home in the sense that like it's always at home, as opposed to at first, students were at the brick and mortar and then they would carry it home. But now like school and home has meshed together in a way that like has never been done before.
Absolutely. So we know there's some schools where students are totally remote. They are taking their classes virtually from their homes. We know some other schools have hybrid models where maybe some students are in the classroom, other students might be at home. So there's various options. We've even heard that the new term concurrent teaching, where teachers are teaching simultaneously the students in the classroom as well as the students at home. And so we know that can not only provide challenges to the students, but also to the families as they are trying to support their students in this learning process. So Leticia, from your just opinion and what you guys have done at your school, maybe what are some of the ideas for solutions when it comes to truly supporting the families and ensuring that they understand not only the content that their students or are learning, but also technology, right? It's so much that, new programs that they'll have to learn, how to log into certain programs. So what are you guys doing within your school to ensure that families are equipped to help the students?
Yeah, Journey, you're absolutely right, because conversations that we were having this summer before even school started, as a I4 coach, which is we focus on the 4 I's, which is innovation, instruction, individualization, and inspiration, that we knew that now that was going to have to extend not just encompass our teachers and our students, but we knew that was going to have to encompass our families. And so our conversations really were about like, how do we make sure that we support our families, just keep them up to date with what's going on. Like you said, just to even like go to and log in somewhere on Google Classroom or on Seesaw, how to get on Zoom, what's going on if it's a Google Meet. So we really did rally around how do we really support our parents, and we've done this several ways. Whereas one is with my IT partner at my school and with my admin, we have hosted like parent tech tip kind of events where sometimes we've done it immediately after school. We've done it later in the evening where we just ask parents, all right, if you're K2, this is your time to come on, have your student iPad with you. And we just like open it up to questions. We've done where like I did like a step-by-step where I've like linked up had to get really fancy with that one, where I link up my iPad as well, and I'm walking them through step by step, recording those, making those available on our school website. We also have a chat that we have going on, a live chat that parents, teachers, and students can access on our school website. So that way it comes directly to myself and my IT partner. And if we are busy doing other things, like helping other students and helping other parents and teachers, then it will go to our entire IT team, and then they'll shuffle it to us to make sure we get it. And I've even been thinking, like, okay, for schools who aren't able to set up that chat, like, go ahead and use Flipgrid to do that, where you can set up, even for teachers. Teachers have also done that, where they've set up their groups, and they've made it so that way parents can go ahead and access, leave, try to make it and be very specific, with telling parents, like, hey, go ahead and leave this information. And so that way they'll know what help how they can assist them, and then we can get back to them as well. So those things have been very helpful in terms of like supporting our parents, allowing them to have communication with, specifically not only with the teacher in our admin, but also with me as a coach in our IT team as well.
Absolutely. You brought up some really great points. I love the parent tech tips. To be able to not only have the sessions, but have it recorded so that families who might not be able to make those sessions at those times can still have access and learn from those who are presenting. In addition to that, the live chat. I love that you gave an alternative. So if a school or a district does not maybe have the funds or maybe even the know-how for the live chat, maybe they can use Flipgrid as an option. So we'll bring up Flipgrid right now so that everyone can see. Now, if you didn't know, Flipgrid is 100% free for every educator to use. Only you need an account as an educator. The students do not need accounts. So when you log into Flipgrid, what you're going to notice is what Leticia just mentioned, those groups, okay? So a group is basically your learning community. It will hold a group of topics that you can engage your community in. And we all know a learning community can be more than students. So that learning community can be focused on families, okay? So you can go ahead, you can create your group. So let's pretend we'll call this one Family Tech Tips 101, right? And then once again, you can customize this join code, right? So maybe I call this Tech Tips. All right. Now for families, you might want to make it public since the families might be obviously adults. You also can make this private if necessary, and you can customize your join code. So let me do that really quickly. Tech Tips 101. Let's see if it's, oh, wow, it's available. I'm always shocked.
Oh, I know. I was like, how long are we going to be here to try to figure this out?
I'll make sure to delete that one. So if you are watching right now, you can grab it. All right. So we'll go ahead and create that group. Now, what's really neat is once you create that group, that's all the learning community or the families would need to know in order to access that group of topics. So we'll go ahead and share how we can share this with families. So there's a couple different options. You can copy and paste the URL. Maybe you add that to your school website, right? Yeah. Or what are some other options where educators can share with families, Leticia?
So like at our school for our K2, we use Seesaw, and then for our 3-5, we use Google Classroom. So definitely placing this link on those two sites, because we know that parents are going there. And while parents can't necessarily join Google Classroom, they can like have their students log in, and you can walk the kids through that, so that way they know where to show their parents to go and access that link. We also do weekly newsletters now. Like, we've had to up the ante about how much we are communicating with parents. So that's definitely where we would always include that in that school newsletter.
Absolutely. And so if your school is doing mailings, just know you can share a QR code and put it on the mailing for the parents to scan and have access. Or you can embed it inside of your school website. Or if you're using Microsoft Teams or Google Classroom, as Leticia shared, just share it that way. Or even the Remind app that many schools are utilizing. So once you go to the group, that's where you're going to set up your topics. And I want to tell you that you're not alone in this. There's educators around the world who are setting up topics to ensure that their students and families are engaged in the remote and hybrid world. And so one thing I do want to point out is that you do have something called Discovery at the very top of your page. This is a place where you can find inspiration for various topics. So one thing I know, lots of educators are, and I'm clicking way too fast, but one thing lots of educators are doing is creating a space for their families and students to leave those questions that they might have for them. So for example, let's say I am searching for an inbox. Right? Like, let's say I want to make sure that I have like some office hours set up. And here's one right here from our friend Eric Garcia. Okay. So you can find this topic and you can actually customize this topic for your learning community. I can click add. I'm going to add it to my group. I'm going to select my family tech tips group. And now this topic will be like a template for me. So instead of hello class, I may say families, right? This is my inbox. This is a place where you can send me private messages, celebrate your accomplishments, ask the questions. This is a great idea. So Eric, thank you so much for sharing this. So we'll go ahead and update that topic. And now this topic is a part of that Family Tech Tips group. Leticia, what are some other ways you think families are being engaged in the learning process while students are away from school?
I think not only to answer their questions about like the how to use something, but engaging them in activities where the student and the parents can work together. So, I mean, you've got Wonderopolis on here where you can suggest to students, to say like, hey, let's explore this wonder together, then go ahead and share it with your parents and then do like a try it out that's available on Wonderopolis, or create your own activity that you want the parents and the students to do together. Maybe you set up activities that like, hey, you say, make a sandwich together at home with your parents, something where it really allows the parent and the student to do some learning that goes beyond just the like, how to like, do I access this website? How to, because it is so stressful, but allowing those learning opportunities to happen in a different way that's very authentic and very fun and just relaxing for the parents. I loved doing that when I was in the classroom with my fifth graders, where I would use Wonderopolis and say, all right, I want you to go home, share this with your parents and try out one of those try it outs and then like share it on a Flipgrid, right? So that's just like one way. Another thing is, like I said, we use Seesaw with our K2s. So letting them do an activity on Seesaw, but just really allowing some time for them to do some fun learning, even if it's reading, right? You could even encourage your parents to like read different chapters from a book that they're reading for like your upper students for like 3-5, right? Or upper grades. And then for the lower grades, you can have, one of my teachers actually does surprise reader. And so she leaves them these clues and then the parents get to go and read on Flipgrid. And so that way they can keep going back to listening to that story. So
love that.
Options.
So, I pulled up, since you mentioned Wonderopolis, I pulled up our partner page. So if you didn't know, we have these incredible partners who are putting in content, their content as topics readily available for you. And so as Leticia mentioned, you can go to any one of these topics inside of the Flipgrid Discovery Library, add that topic to your group to engage your families, but you'll notice the Wonderopolis topics will include the wonder of the day. And as Leticia mentioned, not only can all of the families have a shared reading that they do, with their students. By adding that on Flipgrid, they all can have collaborative conversations about what they learned or what they did. And with that being said, we are going to tell you bye for now, but just note you can always access any resources or great ideas from educators on Flipgrid or even on Twitter using the hashtag Flipgrid for all.